In the name of God, the Beneficent, the Merciful, dear viewers, welcome to Question Time on Islam Live from the Ahlebait studios here in London with your host Naveed Hussain. Alhamdulillah, giving us once again the opportunity to be here this evening with our Islamic scholar, Syed Muhammad Musawi, to answer any questions or any comments or any observations that you would like to share with our Islamic scholar. Our Islamic scholar Syed Muhammad Musawi takes his time out, inshallah, for you, the viewers around the globe, to answer any questions that you may have. You have the opportunity to call in or even text in your questions, and our Islamic scholar will try his utmost best to answer your questions. Sayyidina, thank you very much once again for joining us this evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you and bless all our brothers and sisters and grant all of us more of light, more of love, loving Allah, the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt, and making our life more joyful with enjoying the love of Allah, the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt, and making us with the sincere and humble servants of Ahlul Bayt alayhim assalam.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, a question regarding an ayah of the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He has created human beings weak. Khalaqul insanu da'ifan. If you can elaborate on it. Sayyidina, does this mean just when a human being is born? Because even when a human being grows up, it feels that a human being can't even take, like even when a mosquito bites a human being, a person is too weak to take the pain or to not scratch themselves, for example. Can you explain this ayah of the Quran? What does this actually mean about creating humankind as...
The meaning of this verse, that the weakness of the human being, this does not mean that the human being is unable to do anything. No. The human being is able to do a lot of things, and great human beings achieved great achievements, like the prophets and their deputies, the infallible imams. But human being should always be realistic, that he cannot do whatever he wants. Human being has got his own limitations, and the limitations do not mean that he is bad. Allah created everything in this universe with limitations, with rules, with discipline. So when the bird is bird, the bird cannot take the burden of a camel. That does not mean that the bird is bad. But Allah created everything with His own limitations. The human being, despite being the ashraful makhluqat, the best of all creatures, still the human being, with all the horizons that Allah has created for him, and with all the abilities that Allah has granted him, still the human being has his own limitations. That should make the human being always realistic and humble, and avoid being arrogant, and avoid being proud, and avoid being, say, the feeling of I am big, I'm great, I can do whatever I want. That is wrong. So the human being has got his own limitations, which he should realize and should be accepted by him, and he should always remain humble. Allah in Quran tells every human being, Ya ayyuhan nas, antumul fuqara'u ilallah. Oh mankind, all of you are the needy to Allah. All of you, the kings, the very rich people, all of them, all humankind, all of human beings are the, Allah said, Antum al-fuqara. You are the needy to Allah. That should make the human being realistic in looking to himself, to the life, and be humble, and to avoid the feeling of arrogance and the feeling of being proud or being big or able to do whatever he wants to do. We read in Quran that the tyrant people were being deceived by their power. You know, when Ibrahim alayhi salam was facing the tyrant of his time, Namrud, Allah tells us in Quran that Namrud and Ibrahim had a discussion. Ibrahim said, قال ربي الذي يحيي ويميت. Ibrahim said, my Lord Allah gives life and death. Namrud, the tyrant, said, أنا أحيي وأميت. I give life and I also give death. I can pardon anyone who was supposed to be killed. I can pardon him. Then I'm giving him a life. And I can kill anyone I want to kill. Ibrahim replied to him, ربي الذي, he told him, فإن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق. Then replying the tyrant who claimed that he is able to give life and death, Ibrahim told him, then Allah brings the sun from the east, then you bring it from the west. فبهت الذي كفر. The disbeliever was shocked and did not have any reply. So the meaning which we take from this verse, of course, many meanings, but it teaches us to be realistic and to be humble and to believe that we are created by Allah, the great, and Allah, the creator, the only creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we have always to submit to his will and to be humble servants of Allah and never feel that we are big or great or able to do whatever we want to do.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, if a person ends up missing, God forbid, a wajib act in his life or in a daily basis, or wajib, can a person punish himself, his own self, for missing that, even though it is guna, it will be a punishable act for missing a wajib act that God has ordained? Is there something that Islam allows? Okay, because you missed a wajib, other than the kafara of it, can a person punish himself for missing a wajib act from God?
The answer is, in general, yes. The teachings which we have, that when yourself disobeys Allah, then you punish yourself by depriving yourself from something which yourself likes. For example, a person who sleeps and does not wake up for morning prayer, when he gets up, he can fast that day. He can fast that day and remain fasting that will remind himself not to repeat missing morning prayer. That is not obligatory, but it is one of the ways which we can deal with ourselves when we disobey Allah in any act. Of course, the punishment should not be a wrong way. I mean, no one can torture himself in a haram way. Like, for example, causing major damage for himself or his body. No. The punishment should be in a way which should be permissible and which should remind us not to repeat the mistake which we have committed. And that is an optional act which can be taken by a person who would like to take it. It is not obligatory on everyone. We are asked to seek forgiveness as much as we can, and those who want to punish themselves, they can do that within the limitation which should be permissible and which should make them aware not to repeat the mistake. For example, if someone eats a food which is doubtful because he was hungry or very hungry, and then after that he repents that I was not sure that it is halal, so how did I eat it? Then he can say, I will stop eating that type of food for, say, 2 weeks, just to remind himself not to repeat such a mistake.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, is it makruh to have food in a broken plate?
Yes, it is. It is makruh to have food in a broken plate and makruh to drink from a broken cup or glass. Anything broken, we should not use it for eating or drinking. We have got hadith that shaitan lies on the broken part. So it is not haram to use it, but it is makruh, disliked, means it is harmful. And you know the makruh is two types. Makruh in the worship and makruh in the non-worship. Makruh in the worship means less reward. Makruh in worship, like makruh to pray namaz in front of fire. Makruh to pray namaz in front of a mirror. Makruh to pray namaz in front of an opened door. Okay? What's the meaning of that? Mean the reward of the namaz is less than the usual reward, because it is makruh in a worship act. There is makruh in non-worship, like makruh to drink water during the night in the standing position. There is no matter of sawab here. It is a matter of benefit for your health, for yourself. So any makruh in non-worship means harmful in this word. But makruh itself does not cause punishment in the akhirat. So in this matter of drinking or eating in a broken plate or broken cup or glass or vessel, makruh, then it means that it is harmful for health, but it is not a sinful act.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, is it permissible to have photos of animals around your house? Say, for example, anything from animals, like picture, whether it's cartoon pictures or whether it's live pictures of animals around your house, bedrooms, living rooms, kitchen, just to have photos around of like just animals around your house. Is it
permissible? It is not haram. Not haram to put pictures of animals. not haram. But during performing namaz, prayers, we should not face any picture. It is not haram, it is makruh to face any picture, whether picture of animal or picture of human beings. Sometimes some people put pictures of their parents or family members. Okay, it is not haram as far as the picture itself is not exposed in front of non-mahram. Means if you won't put the picture of your mother, for example, and the picture is without her hijab, just at home, don't put it in a place where your guests who are non-mahram to her can see the picture of your mother without hijab. As far as there is no haram act of exposing the picture of a female in front of non-mahram, any picture to be displayed in front of you while you are performing namaz is makruh. It should be avoided, but after all, it is not haram.
Thank you very much, Syed. Should a Muslim man get married even though he is not yet financially stable?
Good question. Of course, all the questions are good, but I say good when the question touches the need of many people. This issue of marriage and financial situation. In Islam, marriage is highly recommended in general, but marriage becomes obligatory when the person feels that without marriage he might fall into sinful act. When a person feels that he might fall in a sinful act, then marriage does not remain recommended only, but it becomes obligatory. In marriage, we don't have a condition that you should be financially sound. No. Because in Quran, Allah says, إِن يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاءَ يُغْنِهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. Allah says that those who are unmarried, if they are poor, Allah will make them rich from His grace. So we don't avoid marriage because of financial difficulty at all. On the contrary, in the hadith, تزوجوا للرزق, means a person who has got a financial difficulty, let him get married. فإن فيهن بركة. One of the ways to have barakah, blessings in your income, is to get married. A person who is not married and financially not very good should go ahead for marriage, trusting Allah that Allah will send to him rizq, sustenance, barakat. So the response to your question is go ahead for marriage and don't delay your marriage because of financial difficulty, being also sure that Allah will send to you rizq, sustenance from unexpected source. So go ahead and don't delay marriage, especially when you need marriage. When you need marriage, and if you feel that without marriage you might fall into sinful act, then there's no way but to go ahead for marriage, even if you have got financial difficulties, because Allah has promised to send to you إن يكونوا فقراء يغنيهم الله من فضله. Allah, even if they are poor, Allah will make them rich from His grace and bounties.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina, for the lovely answer. Sayyidina, can you please explain the wajib, uh, so especially for sajda, what are the parts of the body that need to be compulsory touching the ground, and how, especially during sajda? Because the reason why I ask is I've seen many brothers where when they are going in sajda, their palms are not touching the ground, only the fingers are touching. So they've got a space. So if you can explain what is the, does it make it makruh, and what things make makruh, especially in sajdat?
7 parts of the body should be on the ground. Main is the forehead. That is must. Then 2 palms.
Okay.
2 palms. Then 2 knees. And the tip of the toes. 2. That is 7. 7 obligatory. Mustahab, recommended to touch the nose on the ground as well. That is not obligatory. That is recommended. Yes, please.
Right. So, and say that those who do not touch the palms but just touch the fingers, is that
No,
a rule?
No, they should touch this side of the hand. This side of the hand should be on the ground. That is obligatory.
Obligatory. Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, is it permissible for men and women to play non-contact sports against each other, specifically, like, for example, table tennis, badminton, and volleyball?
Men and women who are non-mahram playing together any game of sports without touching one another, no, that is against the respect of the women. Will you allow your wife or your sister to play sports with men, outsiders, non-mahram, without bodies touching one another, even to be together in one place playing? As you know, playing means movement of the body, then the women moving, jumping, going this side, that side, you know, her body moves also. That is not the teachings of Islam. Islam teaches modesty, respect to the woman. And when we say that men and women are playing together, no, men should not play with non-mahram women at all. Even without touching, but even seeing them, to be with them on the same place. Women should play with women, and men, they play with men. So Islam does not allow non-mahram men to mix with non-mahram women under the excuse of playing sports. Everyone should play sports on their own, men with the men, women with the women.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, during Muharram, while mourning Imam Hussain alayhi salam, some women cry loudly, making their voices audible to non-mahram men. What is Islamic perspective on this situation?
The females during majlis, they cry with loud voice, and some men can hear them. Is it permissible for them or for the women, for the men, both of them? The answer is yes. it is permissible for women to cry, to weep, even if some of men can listen them. We don't have any objection in Shariat, because Lady Fatima alayhi salam, when she was crying on the tragedy of her father, people of Medina used to hear her voice. And the ladies of Ahlebait in Karbala and after Karbala, and from Karbala to Kufa, from Kufa to Sham, from Sham back to Karbala, then again to Medina, they used to cry and people used to hear their voice. Nothing wrong at all. Nothing wrong at all. In case a man thinks in a different way, he should go away. He should go far. But in general, women crying on the tragedies of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, or any tragedy of Ahlul Bayt with loud voice, they are allowed to do that without any objection. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, is Kitab al-Kafi our most authentic hadith? And please, can you provide other hadith books?
Kitab al-Kafi is one of the most authentic books of hadith. We have got 4 books. We call it Al-Kutub al-Arba'a. You know, we have got, in general, the hadith from the Prophet of Islam recorded from the time of the Prophet. While our Sunni brothers, they had a ban on hadith. When Saqifa people came, they banned hadith. Hadith writing, hadith teaching, hadith studying, hadith narrating, all banned by Saqifa people, by Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, then Muawiyah, till the government of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. About 1 century, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, in year 102 after Hijrah, he allowed writing hadith. From the Saqifa side, hadith was banned. From our side, we are Ghadir side. You know, Muslims were 2 parties: Ghadir people and Saqifa people. Ghadir people who remained faithful to the allegiance of Ghadir, which was being ordered by Allah and the Prophet. Those who remained on the allegiance of Ghadir, they remained following the real successors of the Prophet, who are Ahlul Bayt. Peace and blessing be upon the Prophet and his holy progeny. So our hadith was recorded right from the time of the Prophet. In the time of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, 400 books written under his direction, or at least from his teachings. We call it Al-Usul Al-Arba'mi'ah, 400 origins. From the 400 origins, 4 books were compiled: Al-Kafi, Al-Tahdhib, Al-Istibsar, and Man La Yahdaruhu Al-Faqih. These are the 4 books which are the most authentic books among the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. If you want to compare between our 4 books of hadith and the other brothers' 6 books of hadith, which are known as Sihah al-Sitta, 6 books of hadith, you will find many differences. Many differences. Main difference that our hadiths were written, recorded, registered from the time of the Prophet by the hand of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Then from him to Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain, and other Imams, and from them to their students. While other books, 100 years, no writing. Ban, complete ban. And they started writing it from the time of Umar bin Abdul Aziz. So the gap of 1 century, of course, has changed a lot of things. So the most authentic narrations are the narrations from Ahlul Bayt, alayhim salam, which we have in our books.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina, for the explanation. Sayyidina, please guide us about the legitimate distribution of property if there is no child and the parents have passed away.
If there is no?
If there's no child,
no child.
And the parents have passed away.
Okay. The parents passed away.
Yeah, and there's no child.
I mean, every parent, when the father passed away, was the mother alive or not alive? Because it depends.
So
when the person dies, if the man dies, his wife is alive, she has got right. If the wife dies and she leaves a living husband, he has got a right. So anyone dies, his property goes to the spouse if spouse is alive, to the children, sons and daughters. The share of the daughter is 1, the share of the son is 2. As Allah in Quran says, لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. For the male, 2 of the share of the female. So, in this question, we should see that when the husband died, did the mother, was the mother alive or not? Say, for example, now both of them gone. Both of them, father and mother, both of them are dead. The properties go to the children, the sons and the daughters who are alive when the parents passed away. Those sons and daughters who were alive on the time of the departure of the parent, they have got their right in the properties left by their parents. In case one of the sons passed away in the time of the father or the mother, when the father, his father or his mother passes away, he is no more, he was not alive, but his children are alive. So can grandchildren get from the inheritance on behalf of their father? The answer is no. Why no? Because there are sons and daughters, direct son and direct daughter. They are the first degree of the inheritance. Grandsons are the second degree. So when the person passes away, if he has any living son or living daughter, they are entitled for the inheritance. If when he dies, no direct son, no direct daughter, but all grandchildren, yes, all of them will have share. So it depends on the situation That is in brief. More details can be taken from your local alim, or you can send an email to the program, and inshallah we'll try to help, inshallah.
Thank you so much indeed, Syed. Syed, can you explain what distance there needs to be between two mosques? So if you've got a mosque in one place, what's the distance before you can make another mosque?
No limit. In every locality, you can have a mosque, even walking distance between them. We have got Masjid al-Suq, Masjid al-Hayy. Wherever mosque is required, it is great to build a mosque. To build a mosque, the hadith says, "Man bana masjidan kamifhas qatat, bana Allahu lahu baytan fil jannah." Anyone who builds or takes part in building a masjid, even small, like a place of a bird, means if you take part in building a masjid and your contribution is so small, Allah will build for you a house in the paradise, means a palace in the paradise. So there is no limit as far as the masjid is useful, as far as the aim of building a masjid is serving the believers, not competing with others. Because when the intention is competing with others, it won't be for the sake of Allah. In the Quran, we have got the mention of Masjidan Dhiraran, a mosque which was being built in Medina, not for the sake of Allah, for sake of dunya, to compete and to be a center of conspiracies against Islam and the believers. So as far as the masjid is being built for the sake of Allah, and it is helping the people in the area, it is very good. This is about building a masjid. But if you speak about Friday namaz, Salat al-Jumu'ah, Jumu'ah prayer, Jumu'ah prayer needs 1 farsakh distance. 1 farsakh means about 3 kilometers. About 3 kilometers. So you cannot have 2 Jummah namaz within 1 farsakh, which is 3 miles, not 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 5 kilometers, which is 3 miles. In the circle of 3 miles means 5 kilometers, not more than 1 Jummah namaz is permissible. This is the fatwa of the Maraja of Taqleed.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina, for that answer. Sayyidina, who is obliged to do the aqiqah of a married woman?
Who is obliged to do aqiqah of a married woman?
Yeah.
Aqiqah is highly recommended for every human being. It is highly recommended to do the aqiqah on the 7th day after the birth of the child. If it is not done, it can be done later. A person who is now a matured person and his aqiqah was not done, he himself can do his own aqiqah. He can buy a goat or sheep and get it slaughtered as aqiqah. Even aqiqah can be performed for a person who has passed away, if his aqiqah was not done during his time, his life. So aqiqah can be done for anyone, a married or unmarried. She can do her aqiqah herself, or if her father wants to do aqiqah, also good. But we say that The aqiqah of the child is done by the father. The newly born child, his aqiqah by his father or her father. When the child is grown up and becomes baligh, then he or she can do their aqiqah themselves. A person who passed away, anyone from his family or friends can do aqiqah on behalf of the deceased person.
Thank you very much indeed, Syed. So the question regarding doing trading, for example, forex trading, is this permissible in Islam? The different types of trading, like for example, online, maybe cryptocurrency, forex trading, things like that. Is this permissible in Islam?
Trading online is permissible as far as the company that you trade with its shares is a permissible activity company. You cannot trade online or in the exchange or whatever. You cannot trade with a share of a company which deals with alcohol or with usury or with gambling or with hotels which include sinful acts like dancing, singing, or with company which produces sinful films. So it depends on the nature of the activity of the company. If the company's activity is permissible, then trading with its shares becomes permissible. Then the income from such trading will be permissible, and vice versa.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, if a Shia person does not believe in taqleed, is he still a Shia?
A person who is a Shia, but he does not believe in taqleed, is he still a Shia? The answer, yes, he is still a Shia. And he remains a Shia as far as he believes in Tawheed, Nubuwat, Adl, Imamat, Qiyamat. You know, he's a Shia. Not believing in taqleed comes mainly by misunderstanding the meaning of taqleed. Because some people don't go deep in trying to understand why taqleed. And they think, no need for taqleed. I do taqleed of Imam Zaman. I mean, do you meet him? Are you able to ask him directly? I mean, a claim when Imam Zaman himself, he told the Shias in the time of the Ghaibat occultation, major occultation, refer to the pious ulama who know what Ahlebait want from us. And we've been ordered to follow the highest in knowledge and piousness. Those who speak ill about taqleed, I say they are misunderstanding the situation. But anyone who does not do taqleed, of course, he is not obeying Ahlul Bayt, who ordered every Shia who is not a mujtahid or muhtab to follow the marji of taqleed of his time, yet, but he remains a Shia.
Thank you for the clarification, Sayyidina. Can a woman pray Friday prayer at home?
Can a woman pray Friday prayer at home? If you mean at home means alone, the answer, Friday prayer cannot be performed alone. Friday prayer must be performed with jama'at, and minimum number of the people in Friday prayer is 5, including the imam of Jummah prayer. So no one is permitted no one is permitted to pray alone Jummah namaz. So it is out of question. But if there are 5 people at home, one of them has got the conditions of being the imam of Jummah, and he starts with the khutbah, then the other khutbah, then the namaz, means proper Jummah namaz, and she joins such proper Jummah namaz at home with the other 4, and she is the 5th, then it is permissible. Again, I say, no Jummah namaz furada, no Jummah namaz by 2, no Jummah namaz by 3. Minimum number of Jummah namaz is 5, including the imam. And the imam of Friday, who gives the khutbah first and second, and leads the namaz of Jum'ah, and 4 with him, that will be valid, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, we have many mu'mineen, the Muslims, that go for ziyarah of the imams. Now, they go many times a year, yet they are not paying attention to going to Hajj, for example, which is wajib. So what I mean, is this, what can we say about this? Because they all the time emphasize going ziyarah 3-4 times a year, but they are not making an effort to say up to go to Hajj. So what can we say about this, Sayyidina?
We don't discourage them from going to ziyarat. Let them go to ziyarat. Ziyarat makes them aware that they should follow Ahlebait. And Ahlebait themselves spoke about the importance of Hajj. They say that anyone who is able to go for Hajj and does not go, he will not die as a Muslim. Ahlul Bayt said, they narrated from the Prophet himself, peace and blessing be upon him and his holy progeny, said, anyone who could go for Hajj and deliberately did not go, when he dies, he will be told, مت إن شئت يهوديا أو نصرانيا. Die if you want as a Jewish or as a Nazareth, not as a Muslim. So let them go for ziyarat again and again. That ziyarat will make them more aware to obey the teachings of Ahlul Bayt, which include Hajj as an obligatory on every Muslim who is able to perform Hajj.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, is it permissible to take interest from non-Muslim banks while it is not permissible to do so with Muslim banks? On the other hand, interest is forbidden in the Quran, absolutely. How can this be explained?
The person who put this question should be reminded that he should not make a statement from his own that interest is not permitted absolutely. This statement needs an expert, and not everyone can make such a statement. Those who understand Quran are the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt. Interest is not permissible, yes, from Muslim, but from non-Muslim, according to the authentic hadith, you as a Muslim is allowed to take from non-Muslim what they usually give between themselves. So you are not doing any injustice on them. Injustice is injustice, haram. But when non-Muslims have in their own financial system, in financial dealing, that they take money and they pay interest, Muslim is allowed to take what they usually give. But Muslim is not allowed to take interest from a Muslim. Briefly, it is permissible to take from non-Muslim bank whatever they usually give their customers. And you, as a Muslim, is allowed to take that. And we should not make statements from our own. Yes, we read Quran, we understand some of the meanings, but we are not allowed. I mean, any Muslim is not allowed to make absolute statements about Quran before referring to the great scholars who are the marja' of taqleed. They know the Islamic rule, and they are entitled to give the Islamic verdict, not the general public.
Thank you very much. And you said that we've run out of time. If you can finish off with a last few minutes,
I
please.
would like to remind my respected brothers and sisters who are parents who have children, that some of our children hear from the parents regarding religion threatenings, that if you do this, you will go to hellfire. If you do that, you will go to Jahannam. If you do, only threatening. We should remember that our religion is not only threatening. No. Allah in Quran says, نبئ عبادي أني أنا الغفور الرحيم وأن عذابي هو العذاب الأليم. Means, tell my servants that I am the forgiver and the merciful.
Subhanallah.
We need to always mention to our children the positive side, the side which makes the children more hopeful, more interested, more attracted to the facts of religion, which is not only threatening and threatening and threatening. No. Teach them that our religion is the religion of love, of harmony, of caring, of mercy, of sympathy. Don't ignore this side of good attraction, and don't focus only on the threatening. No, the parents are responsible to give the real picture of our religion, the religion of truth, to the children. May Allah bless you and your families and children, and may Allah keep you all under the protection of Imam Zaman, عجل الله فرجه الشريف. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina. With those beautiful words of Islam,